Typically young romances are thought of as heartwarming and full of cherishable moments. But beyond the surface level of the sweet and lovable aspect of those things, these early relationships in life are a pivotal part of one's personal growth and maturation. And with the valuable experience gained, red flags become easier to identify going forward. Unfortunately, for the 22-year-old Gabrielle Petito, she would pick the wrong partner and it would end tragically. Let's take a look back at the van life couple that would turn the world upside down. It's been said, time and time again, that opposites attract. Gabrielle had quite an extroverted personality. She was very ambitious, outgoing, and a glass-half-full type of person. Despite having these sort of positive traits, she would fall for Brian Laundrie, who was very different in comparison. He wasn't very ambitious, quite antisocial, and had a fairly mysterious demeanor about him. The two would be just friends throughout high school. But a few years later, after graduating, the pair would become romantically involved. Things seemed to be going quite well early on in their relationship, regardless of the two being polar opposites. Gabby would even relocate to Florida and live with Brian and his family. But over time, toxic tendencies from Laundrie started to rear its ugly head. He allegedly would become more possessive and much more controlling. Even with the glaring red flags, which would prompt most women to leave this type of toxic relationship. The young couple would get engaged, which came as a surprise to those in their circle. As the trend of vlogging of road trips began to grow more popular online, Gabrielle, who always wanted to travel and see the world, would be inspired to take part in the action. She would work countless hours for several months. And eventually, she saved up enough money to buy her very own Ford Transit van. Brian would decide to support her and tag along for the adventurous journey around the world. The initial plan was to vlog a 4-month cross-country experience and upload it to her social media pages, routinely showcasing beautiful sights, iconic landmarks, and also the affectionate moments between the two. However, the road would be far more rocky than anyone could ever imagine. Approximately a month after the traveling had begun, the police would be called regarding a domestic violence incident that took place in a parking lot outside of a local market.
Hi, I'm calling. I'm right on the corner of Main Street by Moonflower, and we're driving by, and I'd like to report a domestic dispute. Florida with the white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman,
Where's
about
it at?
5'6", beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what'd you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by, and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yeah.
The local police would eventually find the couple down the road and questioned the pair about the call. The officer's body cam was on and filmed the entire interaction.
You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
She had a cell phone in her hand. That's why I was pushing her away. Because she wanted I locked the keys so I could walk away. I said, let's just take a breather and let's not, go anywhere. Let's just calm down for a minute because she was getting really worked up. And then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys from me, so I got in the way. I was just trying to. I know I shouldn't push, but I was just trying to push her away to go. Let's just take a minute, step back, and breathe. And she got me.
So you pushed her and she hit you?
She was. It wasn't like a push and she jumped on me. She was already. I don't want to. She was already swinging and I was pushing. Yeah. A lot of angles, a lot of nails, a lot of rings.
Yeah. You got 3 scratches on your neck. You got one on the left side of your nose. You got one in your face here, and you got 4 bleeding over there. So it looks like 2 hands coming in.
Gabby, this is a very, very important question. How you answer this question is going to determine what happens next. But the only person who can answer this question is you. Think very hard before you answer the question. Do not quickly answer it. Think very hard. When you slapped him those times, were you attempting to cause him physical pain or physical impairment? Was that what you were attempting to do to him? No. What were you attempting to do? What was the reason behind the slapping and stuff? What was it you were attempting to accomplish by slapping?
I was trying to get him to stop telling me to calm down.
Opting to not classify the couple's public dispute as domestic violence. Neither would be arrested, despite the admission of physical abuse taking place. Instead, they would be separated to cool off, with Gabrielle opting to remain with the van, and Laundrie agreeing to stay in a nearby motel for the night. The toxic couple decided to continue their road trip, even after the public spat. They later posted a travel update for their social media followers. Gabby uploaded a montage of what looked to be a marvelous time they were having. But approximately a week after the online update, no one would be able to get in contact with Gabby again. Text messages and calls from friends and family members would now go unanswered. And no more videos would be uploaded on her social media accounts. The following month, Brian would make it back home alone in the van. He suggested to his parents he may need a lawyer on his arrival. And Laundrie would remain silent about Gabby and her unknown whereabouts. After not hearing from her daughter for almost 2 weeks, her mother got extremely worried and decided to file a missing persons report with the local police. Brian immediately became the obvious person of interest for law enforcement on the case.
Northport Police Department.
Yes.
How you doing, sir? I apologize for bothering you. I have the detective on the phone.
I'm not talking to anybody right now.
You don't want to talk to us?
No.
Okay, she's on the phone. You don't want to talk to her now?
No.
Okay, when was the last time that you saw Brian and Gabriel?
Well, Brian is here.
Brian is here?
Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say.
And that's why you're saying?
Yeah, we have an attorney. They've been calling, I don't know. That's all I want to say. I don't know why so many attorneys are aware they're calling, so I can give you his number.
Whose number? The attorney's number?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like that, please, so I can give it to the detective. Thank you.
As the story broke on the local news, it would quickly spread throughout the country. The shocking and mysterious nature of the case garnered massive attention. The investigation to find the 22-year-old continued with the internet's involvement. People online would offer their help by going through her social media post and pointing out interesting observations. After several days of collecting information, the police were able to narrow down her most recent location. Unfortunately for Gabrielle's family, it would not be a happy ending. The 22-year-old's body would later be discovered at a Wyoming campsite. The tragic update devastated her family and also the millions following the story. An autopsy was later conducted, and the cause of death was determined to be from blunt force attacks and strangulation. All the evidence was pointing toward Laundrie as the culprit. But because of a new turn of events involving her fiancé, an arrest couldn't be made. Brian hadn't been seen or heard from since the search for Gabby began. Weeks later, his body was found in a Florida state park, hidden deep in the woods. He had apparently taken his own life with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A notebook was found near his body that contained an omission to ending Gabby's life. According to his entry in the journal, he did it because she fell and was badly injured. Many believe it wasn't the honest truth, considering all of the evidence that was revealed. Not to mention how seeking medical assistance would have been the most logical response for an injured partner. Some believe Gabrielle was planning to end the toxic relationship. Possibly he discovered something in her phone that triggered his deadly rage. Social media posts still remain online which documented her final days. What do you think about this story? Have you or someone close to you ever experienced a toxic relationship? What were some red flags displayed that others should be aware of? Leave a comment below and let me know.